Well, it's another beautiful day here at Guy Wolff Pottery. I come up here 3 or 4 times a year and I stay here for like a week or 2 weeks making pots. It's bliss, whatever time of year it is. But we're really lucky to have this gorgeous weather in the spring. And I thought it would be really nice to show you sort of my routine while I'm here with Guy and the family. This is the back of the shop. So in the mornings, we enter through here. And this is the workroom. Guy and Ben, when there's 3 of us in here, I'm on this wheel, which is actually Erica's wheel, Guy's wife. That's where she throws when she's in here. When I come, Erica usually doesn't throw. I throw on her wheel, and then Guy and Ben throw over there. One of the wheels is set up for red clay, one is set up for white clay. Over here is where Guy dries everything. These number 4-pound garden bowls I made yesterday. They will be cut off of the bats shortly, and then I will trim the bottoms. Last night before I went inside, I washed the parts of the wheel. So this has actually been disassembled. This is how it goes back together. These pieces that were washed, they just clip back into place. And this will be ready for trimming those pots I made yesterday. And this is the shop. This is the old part of the building. I love coming in here. I mean, it's always a thrill to see what is available for sale. Today, we're actually traveling to Torrington, where there is a wonderful shipping company that ships out all of the pots I make when I have an online sale. So we're going to be carting some of my goods up to Torrington shortly. And the things that I make for my online sales get stored upstairs, which is a very special part of this building. This is kind of an archive of sorts where Guy keeps special pieces of pottery and also the pieces that are not going to be sort of sold in the shop. And my things are over here. So the last time I was here, January, February-ish, I made these. These are what Guy calls spatter ware, inspired by flower pots from the 19th century made by a potter named Anthony Beecher in Thurmont, Maryland. We have seen some beautiful historic examples, and we made versions of those. So these are glazed flower pots. They're red clay, then they were dipped in white slip and spattered with minerals and then glazed. And I love these so much. I've never made these here before. So these were a thrill to make. These will be in the online sale in May. And then over here, this is what I made last week. These are orchid pots. And usually we cut the holes out with circles, but this time Guy suggested that I cut out diamonds. And I just love how these turned out. There's some orchid pots. There are some what are called full pots. This is this sort of the standard English flower pot shape, developed in the early 1800s by the Royal Horticultural Society when they were standardizing flower pots to fit into greenhouses, which were becoming popular. All the flower pots that Guy has taught me how to make come with a history. So these are all going to be carted off to Torrington today to be shipped out. But I also have another task that I have to do. I have to wash my clay clothes. So I have been asked before, how do you just throw these in the washing machine? Doesn't that ruin the washing machine? Well, there's an actual method to getting the clay off of these clothes so you don't ruin your washing machine. I'm going to show you that outside. So there's no running water in the pottery. The water source for the pottery is out here at this beautiful old sink. This is where we get the water, and this is also where we wash our clay clothes, or where we rinse our clay clothes. So the great thing about the clay is that when it goes into water, it's heavy, so it sinks to the bottom. So the method for washing these clay clothes is we just take them, put them in the water, and just look, like I rub the clay, and it really, everything comes off very easily. This white clay doesn't really stain. I mean, it'll stain white clothes. It'll leave sort of a gray mark. It's the red clay it's the iron in the red clay, the iron oxide, that will really stain clothes. So I'm very conscious of that. If I know that I want my clay clothes to look a certain way, because I'm extremely vain, that I'll wear certain clothes for throwing red and certain clothes for throwing white, and then I have certain clothes that I will wear for anything. These are my white clay clothes. So this shirt, shockingly, like, it gets all covered in clay, but once it's washed, you'd never know that there was clay on it. And you wouldn't throw clothes like this directly into the washing machine, because the clay will come off the clothes and then it'll go through the drain and it'll sit in the pipes, which is what you don't want to do. That's why we do this part first, because once the clothes have been soaked and the clay really comes off the water, then the clothes get thrown in the washing machine and they're safe to wash without damaging your pipes. So this process is to really take off almost all the clay, and you can see how murky the water is. It's pretty quick. In the summertime we do this, and sometimes we don't even throw the clothes in the washing machine, just sort of rinse them out by hand and then hang them up in the sun to dry, and they're dry within just like an hour or two, and then we can wear them again. So look, the jeans, all that clay has come off. What I do is, I usually do this twice. So I do the first wash, and then I do a rinse, and then I throw the clothes in the washing machine. Now, the great thing about clay water is if I were to just leave this water here, by tomorrow, all the clay will be at the bottom of the bucket and the water on the surface would be clear. So you can pour the water off and actually clean out the clay. Like if you're doing this at home and you have like a small studio space and you don't want to pour clay into your sink, don't pour this down the drain. Just let it settle and scoop out the clay once all the water has been slaked off. There, clay water. Look at this shirt, clean. All that clay has come off the shirt. And now this can go in the washing machine. That's my routine here. Whenever I visit, become a potter a few times a year here in Connecticut, cleaning clay clothes.